This episode of Sir Sick Being a Big Smarter is brought to you by Spoon Stuff Stories, the show made by Mrs. Sick and voiced by me. And no, when I say brought to you by, I don't mean she pays for it. She hasn't got any money. Go watch it so she eventually will. And because it's actually really good, I guess.
I, as many people in science communication, am fascinated with flat earthers. Here you have a group of people steadfastly rejecting evidence that's right in their face.
Flat earthers are neither stupid nor anti-scientific.
Wow, right into it, are we? Well, okay, she didn't say that you were stupid at all, so I don't know why you brought that up. Unless, secretly, deep down, you have this little niggling thought that's at the back of your head saying, we, the flat earthers that is, maybe we are kinda stupid. No, that can't be. Me, I'm the smart. Everyone else is the stupid. Now I shall sing you the song of my people. La 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 la, I'm not listening.
And the only thing we are steadfastly objecting is a fantasy spinning ball earth and the endless straw man arguments and non-empirical claims made by its proponents.
Straw man claims? What straw man? That the earth is empirically a globe and only a total moron would think otherwise? And no, calling you a moron is not a straw man, it's an ad hominem. But that's not why I think you're wrong. I think that you're wrong because you are. Because literally the entire makeup of the universe says so. That just happens to make you a moron.
But first I have to tell you what flat earthers actually believe and how they got there.
You have absolutely no idea what flat earthers believe, as you are about to demonstrate.
Don't they believe that the earth is flat? Oh no, I must have gotten you all wrong. No, but seriously, there are so many ideas that come out of the flat earth, sphere, that it's really hard to keep track. If only you could come to some sort of consensus based on actually having done a single goddamn bit of actual science. But no, you all have radically different, conflicting ideas. For some reason. It's almost like you have no idea what the hell you are talking about.
But just your use of the word believe is already wrong.
Oh, I love that you find the word believe to be so offensive. Literally, everyone believes. Just some beliefs are more accurate than others. But no, of course, we don't believe. We am the right. Wah wah. Just like a true genius would say. Only those who can never ever admit to being wrong are the world's true big brainsers.
The Earth is demonstrably, empirically, a level, motionless plane.
Right, let me explain a little bit about how words work. You could be absolutely 100% correct about that. You aren't, but this is just for demonstration purposes. But even if you were right, you would still believe it, you f***ing moron. Belief doesn't mean made up thing, it means what someone holds to be true. If you can't get basic words right, it really does make me seriously doubt your ability to understand how anything in reality works.
The natural physics of water objectively proves this, and everyone who has ever lived has experienced themselves existing upright on a motionless level plane.
Oh, god damn it, do I have to explain this again? What you see, hear, smell, taste, etc. is not the only way humans have for working things out. A test as simple as eyeballing a largish distance and then measuring it with a tool will show you how totally inadequate your senses are for judging anything accurately. Without measurements, you will never know the true nature of something. We did the measurements, and guess what? Turns out, Earth not flat. Now, you can go and do the measurements and prove me wrong. Oh, guess what? You can't, 'cause I'm not wrong. You are. Time to sing the song of your people again, I guess. La la la, etc.
Belief is not required or a factor in people knowing the Earth to be motionless and level.
Neither is a dictionary, apparently. God, you people are so infuriating. It's like listening to someone smugly pontificate about how they haven't crapped their pants, while everyone is watching on in horror as the smelly sludge leaks down their leg for all to see, and claiming that people's disgusted reactions are actually further proof of how they totally haven't crapped themselves.
For the members of your heliocentric cult, however, Belief is most certainly required, as there is no demonstrable empirical evidence proving Earth to be a tilting, wobbling, spinning oblate pear hurtling around the sun.
But that's not true. That's not even remotely true. And the fact that you are either lying about it or can't comprehend the mountains and mountains of evidence to the contrary doesn't change that fact. But it does make me wonder, if you are right and it is all simply a fiction, where are all the flat earth rocket scientists? Where are all the flat earth pilots even? Where is anybody of any demonstrable skill other than that of spouting endless streams of hot liquid garbage? Because you would think that they would be frickin' everywhere. You would think if you were right, if this obvious fact was so obvious, then everyone would just agree with you, and your only excuse for why they don't is, must be a cult. But what are the doctrines of this cult? Where are its headquarters? Why doesn't it behave like any other cult in history? Oh, that's right, 'cause it's not one, and you just using that term as a poisoning the well tactic.
Fairy tales like this must be believed, unlike our actual experience of the motionless level Earth.
Christ, he is so stuck on this belief thing, which really demonstrates how little he, and by extension all of his little mates, actually have. He's stuck on this semantic argument about the meaning of belief, a wrong one at that, when it doesn't matter. Tell me I believe the Earth is a globe. Tell me that I fact it's a globe. It doesn't frickin' matter. What does matter is that you, purposefully or not, keep saying untrue things like there's no evidence for a globe Earth, which I wouldn't even genuinely say that there's no evidence for a flat Earth. It just turns out that it's wrong when you put it into context with the rest of the evidence. Much like when a piece of meat rots, it appears as though critters spontaneously generate forth from it, as many once believed. But now we understand that that's simply not how it works. It's called science. Maybe you should do some.
Which can be objectively demonstrated.
Incorrect. I would explain for why, but apparently I don't have any evidence because magical wish thinking. Well, I say thinking. I honestly don't know what the hell happens in your head.
The most popular flat Earth model is that of a disk where the North Pole is in the middle and the South Pole is an ice wall on the edge of the disk. They mostly agree, though, that gravity does not exist and that the observations we normally attribute to gravity come instead from the upward acceleration of the flat Earth.
Oh, I gotta say, I find the speeding up in the audio of other people's videos, which is quite common for this kind of content, for anything other than a joke, is a little bit, ironically, hilarious, because so often it is done because it's too slow and boring, which A, I mean, have you heard yourself, lol, and B, shows off the hyperactive chimp brain of most flat earthers sitting there gnawing their own faces off because there's too much science and not enough explosions.
The statement that flat earthers mostly agree the effects of gravity are caused by an upward accelerating flat Earth disk is the most blatantly dishonest thing said in this presentation.
Is it dishonest though? She could just be, wrong. That's a common thread with all woo peddlers and various pseudoscience spouters. While many give them the benefit of the doubt of being idiots, and yes, being an idiot is infinitely more preferable to being a liar, I'm not sure that I have ever seen them give the same affordance to anyone else. They are all liars. They must be, because my stupid worldview is so obviously self-evident. In fact, it's so obvious and self-evident that I will not even attempt to disprove it or understand the reasoning that comes against it. God, it's tough being this smart and honest.
No flat earther in history ever believed or even presented this ridiculous theory until it was included on the farcical, satirical, controlled opposition Flat Earth Society website.
Oh, so someone said something I don't agree with from my side. They must be controlled opposition. AKA people who aren't real Scotsmen, I swear. I don't know, maybe the Flat Earth Society is totally satire, but that hasn't stopped lots of people from spouting that very opinion. And acting like they don't makes you the dishonest one in this situation. I also would love to know what totally the real explanation is, guys. Thing that you have in its place. Fingers crossed it isn't equally stupid. Spoilers, but it's definitely gonna be. Even without hearing it, because I have one of those Brian fella's living in my head. That's the name of the hamster.
Frequently asked questions in the early 2000s. I have not found a single flat earther outside of the Flat Earth Society who believes or promotes that misinformation.
Weird that you wouldn't immediately put out the correct theory, and so what? Just because you haven't doesn't mean they don't exist. And again, all you have to do is explain your actual versions and present the supporting evidence for it, and also explain how the current explanation is so wrong. And I mean the real science, not whatever stupid thing the Flat Earth Society said. If you are right, you won't even have to say science and religion or heliocentrism and cult to be correct. But that only works if you are correct, which explains a few things, to be fair.
And the tens of thousands of flat earthers on my channel will back me up on this. Please comment below if anyone actually believes Earth is an upward accelerating disk.
Ah, good plan. Good plan. And anyone who says that can promptly get deleted and or called a lying shill. And you get to continue being correct without actually having to put the work in. Smart. You know what? That's unfair. It's not like flat earthers are known for ignoring evidence that they don't like or anything. It's not like that literally is the only way they can continue to believe utter objective nonsense. No.
The actual explanation for the effects of so-called gravity are as follows.
Oh my god, he's gonna do it, the absolute mad lad. Genuinely looking forward to this. What are the chances that it's either gonna be extremely obviously wrong or such gibberish that in scientific terms it's not even wrong? It's just bleh. Let's find out.
Quite simply, objects fall or rise based on their relative density to the medium surrounding them.
Oh, for fuck's sake. The density argument. The argument so stupid it can't comprehend that the density of things need something to make them order into those densities in a stack like that. Something that... Don't tell me, I know the name of it. It's on the tip of my gravity. It's gravity, you frickin' moron. Hell, your density thing is so lacking as an explanation that even the stupid Earth am travelling up thing is a better explanation because it still accounts for density. Imagine being so stupid that you are stupider than the stupids. Mind-blowing.
Apples fall because they are denser than the air, while helium balloons rise because they are lighter. No gravity necessary.
Except it totally is, because density completely fails to answer the question of why do those things move in those specific directions, toward, away, etc. You see, just saying density, though, is not an answer. It's a nothing that has no ability to explain the fact that those things always happen in that specific way. There has to be a force acting on them to make them act that way, and that sure as shit ain't density. Put simply, the results of gravity are in no way, shape or form a replacement for gravity.
This is why raindrops fall down through the air, and air bubbles rise up through water. Everything seeks its relative density and rises or falls until settling accordingly.
But why is that relative density in the order of most dense to least dense? Until you can answer that question, the answer of gravity, which totally and completely answers that, while explaining a bunch of other shit to boot, is the answer that we are going to go with. And unfortunately for you, gravity is completely incompatible with a flat Earth. Also, if the most dense things are always at the bottom, why aren't you under the Earth?
This is why a tiny pebble sinks to the bottom of the ocean, but gigantic cruise ships and aircraft carriers stay afloat on the surface.
Quick question, but how many flat earthers does it take to build a battleship? Oh, no, that sounds like it was a setup for a joke, but it's not. However, I think we can come up with a few punchlines now. Put yours in the comments. I'll go first. So again, how many flat earthers does it take to build a battleship? Just one. Someone's got to get the tea while real engineers do the actual work. Badum-tiss.
Because even though a pebble is so small, its mass relative to its volume, its density, is more than water, so it sinks. And even though a cruise ship is so large, its mass, relative to its volume, is less than water, so it floats.
Well, blow me over with a feather. You do actually have a grasp on something within the real world. I am the surprise. Now all you have to do is apply the same braining to the rest of science and you will eventually figure out that the flat earth theory is, how do you guys like to say it, just a theory. Except no one says that, because if you know anything about scientific theories, you would understand that that is an incredibly stupid thing to say. Theories being ridiculously high science and all, that only the most demonstrable of things get to be called theories, not the other way around.
If Newton's apple had landed in a puddle instead of on his head, he would have seen the apple only fell through the air because it was denser than the air.
Oh my god, do you think Newton didn't understand density? Do you think density was worked out after gravity? That is such a fantastic demonstration of your utter ignorance. Newton's discovery, well, figuring out of gravity, was like 1800 years after the figuring out of density. I say figuring out, it's not like people hadn't noticed it, it's just they hadn't thought about it, but whatever. If Newton had seen the apple fall into a puddle, he would have still been able to achieve the exact same realization. Hell, his head is even more dense than the apple, so it's irrelevant. Also, it just occurred to me that ice is less dense than water, but for some reason, people don't sink through it. And yes, I understand that one is a liquid, one is a solid, but density, though, doesn't explain how that works. It just says, less dense, underneath, more dense. Except no. It's almost like your idea is flawed and stupid.
But then floated on top of the water because it was less dense than water. Have you ever noticed how it's easier to stay afloat with your lungs full of air than it is when they're empty?
Wait. Are you telling me that you have drowned before? Oh, holy shit, that brings a whole new dimension to this discussion. How long were you under the water? Did you black out? Did you believe the flat earth before or after this happened? I have so many questions. And I think this story might contain /B the real answer that we are looking for. As in, why does Eric Dubay appear to have brain damage? Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope. Wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos. And she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the